They can't get interviews, they can't get past the application process. Compare that to the experiences of Steve Foti, Chuck Walla, Scott Jensen, and Brian Burke and Bonnie Ladwig, all convicted of crimes in the legislative caucus scandal. Many of you were former colleagues of many of yours. Brian Burke is now a defense attorney. Chuck Walla has regained his law license. Steve Foti is a lobbyist with the Wisconsin Retail Council. All of these individuals have rebuilt their lives. Scott Jensen appealed his conviction and prison sentence, and he has the financial resources to do that. We don't begrudge them their ability to rebuild their lives. In fact, that's what we want for all of the men and women who are returning to our communities. But let's not pretend that the experiences of those powerful, empowered, and politically well-connected men and women are representative of the 70,000 men and women currently in our criminal justice system. They are not. According to a 2005 article by the Wisconsin lawyer from 1979 to 2005, only 604 pardons were granted, with most being granted by Governor Thompson. At this very moment, there are over 70,000 individuals in prison or on supervision in our state. In 26 years, 604 pardons, 23 per year on average. 70,000 people in the current system. A pardon can take months, if not years. Most people who successfully obtain a pardon have an attorney. How many jobs will someone be denied, and how many people currently employed may be terminated for no other reason than they have an unpardoned felony conviction? As a faith-based organization, we are concerned with the overly punitive nature of this bill. Many of the world's faith traditions, including Christianity and Judaism, call on us to care for one another and to forgive. This bill is unforgiving by decreasing the likelihood that someone can indeed put the prison bars behind them and rebuild their lives. Senate Bill 207, given the reality we have of getting employment.
As you know, most released prisoners are returned to Milwaukee. Although they may have had at least work experience in rural Wisconsin towns where the prisons are located, they are not allowed to remain there for work. It is inhumane to mandate a statewide no employment of felons law. I shudder to think of the
Next up, we have Annette Harpole. She's representing herself, Annette, and then on. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Annette Harpole, and this is my first time speaking in front of a body like this. And it was nice to meet you, Senator Wangard, as a resident of Racine. I am speaking against Senate Bill 207. I'm opposed to the Wisconsin legislature adopting Senate Bill 207, a companion bill to Assembly Bill 286. Senate Bill 207, if passed, will allow employers to discriminate even more than they do now against employment applicants who have felony records but who have completed their incarceration time. If a person has completed their incarceration time and are deemed ready to re-enter the community, are they not then expected to live as free citizens? If so, how can a person afford housing, food, and help take care of their family if they cannot be hired by anyone? Are we not saying as a state, then, that we have obeyed the letter of the law and allowed the person to go free, walk away from the penitentiary? However, we are re-incarcerating the person in effect by telling employers on the outside to not hire felons who have completed their sentences. Why is it okay to employ prisoners while they are incarcerated and paid pennies on the dollar for every hour they work? Yet when former inmates are released from prison, it is suddenly not okay to employ them when they could now make a livable wage. By encouraging employers not to hire former felons, the state is basically encouraging past behaviors that will probably make the person go back to prison. Why would the state want that unless they want to employ them while they are in prison and have employers only pay them pennies on the dollar for every dollar worked, almost like slavery?
That's right.
What is the state's real motivation for not encouraging employers to employ people with felonies upon re-entry into the community? I would like to know. Finally, I also, just as a parenthetical, as I was listening to Attorney Ruse with Senator Alberta Darling this morning. Attorney Ruse said he was with Wisconsin Civil Justice Council, and it indicated that Senate Bill 207 wouldn't prevent employers from hiring a person with a felony record. I will say that I worked briefly in a human resources department, and as part of the application process, we were required to run a background check. So my question is, how can you know that that application isn't going to be set aside when the person's background is discovered, criminal background is discovered? Thank you very much for your time.
And thank you for calling. Next up, we have Bob Anderson and Sheila Sullivan. If you'd like to testify together, that would be fine. And speaking against, and Legal Action of Wisconsin. On deck, we have Edward Karski.
Senator Grothman, I believe you owe this lady an apology. She didn't ask me to do this, but you weren't paying attention to her testimony. You left during it. That's what you're paid to do. That's what you signed to do. I believe you owe this lady an apology, Senator Grothman.
Thank you, Mr. Grothman.
By the way, that
Wisconsin. Right. And you're with?
Wisconsin's published radio.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
I guess the question on our part is. Yeah,
How you doing, Senator? It's been a while since I've seen you. Probably when we
I recognize you.
yeah, we were together at the Republican convention. Oh, one time it was. And I didn't mean to put a call.